We are continuing the Sefer MISHNAS CHASIDIM from Mesechta oros HaNekודים. Before we described that there was Tzimtzum Ak, Tzimtzum of Adam Kadmon, which is when the or which is beneath the tabor was Nistalik Lamaila, above the tabor area of Adam Kadmon. And what was the or that went up? The or of Shema and Shem Ben. The or of Shema and Shem Ben, they went up. And this was the Mayim Nukvim, and it caused the Yichud above by the Tamim Da'av and Tamim Desag that are above the Tabor area. And this produced a reaction that the Or was pushed back down. So in other words, the Or of Shema was pushed back down. It was an Or Chadash, a new light, that was pushed back down. And then you also have the Or of Shem Ben, which was brought back down again as well. But the difference here is that the Or of Shem Ben now is split into two. One darga of the Or of Shem Ben becomes chitzonius, and that comes out of the Einayim to Adam Kadmon, the eyes of Adam Kadmon, whereas this Or that comes out of the Einayim is, however, only the Malchios, the lowest darga of Shem Ben. The lowest darga of Shem Ben is coming out of the Einayim. However, the other dargos of Shem Ben, all of the other dargos of Shem Ben come back down beneath the tabor, and Shem Ben together with Shema emanate out of the guf of Adam Kadmon. They flow and they emanate outside of the guf of Adam Kadmon, from the tabor, from the bris, from the tziparnei raglav, and that gives light to olam hanekudim. So let's begin by Mesechta oros HaNekודים, Parak Aleph, Mishnah Aleph. V'ha'or hazeh, this or sha'ala that went up, it brought its ha'ara outside of the einayim. And the or that we're talking about is the or of Shem Ben, the malchios of Shem Ben. But in general, it is good to know that this or is also called nekudos sag. This or is also called nekudos sag because be'ikr, the stage that this or was working at was the nekudos of sag. The achaf, the oris oznayim chotem and peh, was the tamim of sag. But beneath the tamim of sag was the nekudos of sag. So when the or went up when the or went above the tabor area of Adam Kadmon, so the nekudos of sag went up along with the Shema and the Shem Ben. So that's why, in a certain sense, this or that we're dealing with by olam hanekudim is the nekudos, is the darga of nekudos sag, the nekudos of Shem sag. But be'ikr, though, as we explained, this or comes back down, Shema comes back down, Shem Ben comes back down, and the lowest darga of Shem Ben comes out of the einayim. And that becomes the chitzonius of the or. So let's read that again inside. This or that went up, it brings its light out of the einayim. It brings its light out of the einayim of Adam Kadmon, the eyes of Adam Kadmon. And the einayim, the or einayim, is soid shlosha ekiyah. This is 3 times ekiyah. Shemispram sag. Ekiyah 3 times. Shem ekiyah 3 times, which is 21. That equals the shem of sag. That equals the shem of sag. So first of all, why shem ekiyah? Because shem ekiyah is bina, and all of the dargos of achaf, oznayim, chotem, and peh, they're all coming from the darga of bina, which is shem ekiyah. They're all stemming from the shem sag. They're all stemming from shem sag, and shem sag is bina, and bina is the shem of ekiyah. So all of this or that is coming out of the chotem, the oznayim, the chotem, and peh were all three dargos of Shem Ekia, mushrosh within Shem Sag. And they're coming from Shem Sag, the tamim of Sag. And so that's why Shlosha Ekia Shemisparam Sag. Now, not only that, I want you to know even more. I want you to know that now that the Shlosha Ekia equal the gematria of Shem Sag, you should know that the gematria of Ozen, ears, is Shem Sag, the gematria of Chotem is Shem Sag, and the gematria of Peh is also, if you take Shem Sag and the Chaf Beis Osios, that also has to do with Shem Sag, and that will bring you to the gematria of Peh. The gematria of Peh is Sag and Chaf Beis Osios. So you have Ozen equals the Shem of Sag, 63. Chotem equals the Shem Sag, 63. And then if you take Shem Sag and the Chaf Beis letters of the Aleph Beis, which are the Kalim that are being made, that will equal the Darga of Peh. So you see that Ozen, Chotem, and Peh are mushrosh within the Shem of Sag. So we went from 3 Ekia, which equal Shem Sag, and then we showed how even the names Ozen, Chotem, and Peh are mushrosh within Shem Sag, right? And now we're going to talk more about this. If you take 3 times Ekia Chaf Beis, Ekia Chaf Beis, Ekia Chaf Beis, meaning the Achaf and its Kalim, the Ozen and its Kalim, the Chotem and its Kalim, and the Peh and its Kalim, which is Ekia Chaf Beis, Ekia Chaf Beis, Ekia Chaf Beis. If you take them, that will be 43, and that's times 3, and that will bring you to a total of 130. 130 if you count the other Kolo, 130. And 130 is, guess what? Is the gematria of Ayin. The gematria of Ayin. And so we have everything is mushrosh solid in the 3 Ekia which come to Sag, and then Sag is Achaf, Ozen, Chotem, and Peh. And then if you look again at the Shem Ekia and its Kalim, 3 times Ekia Chaf Beis, Ekia Chaf Beis, Ekia Chaf Beis, that will bring you to the total of Ayin, which is the Or that we're dealing with now. So that's why the Mishnas Chasidim says that this Or is Shlosha Ekia. So now, in the bigger picture here, Kihu Abechina Chitzona de Nekudei Sag, because for one, you also have the fact that this Or that we're dealing with that comes out of the Einayim started with the Nekudos of Sag, the Nekudos of Sag. As I mentioned before, the Achaf is from Tamim de Sag, right? And whereas this Or that comes out of the Einayim is from the Nekudos of Sag, right? And, or as we know, Sag de Sag. So this is from the Nekudei Saga Koilo, the Tagan of the Oises Klulimboy, and the lower level of Shem Sag, the Tagan and the Oises of Shem Sag, is Nichlal in the Nekudei of Sag, and all that was drawn up beyond the Tabor of Adam Kadman, as you mentioned above. V'abechina Chitzona de Ben HaKolo. And then also the Oros Einayim is not only the Nekudei of Shem Sag, but it's also Shem Ben HaKolo, right? Because we mentioned that Shem Ben, the Malchios, go out of the Einayim of Adam Kadmon. So far we have the Nekudis of Shem Sag, which is Sag de Sag, and we have also the Bechina Chitzona of the Shem Ben, right? The Malchios of Shem Ben, and that becomes Chitzonis because it comes out of the Einayim. And so the Baal Mishnas Chasidim says, all this came as the Hey Achrona of Shem Havaya. And why the Hey Achrona? The Hey Achrona because the Achaf is Yud Kevav. Ozen, Chotem, and Peh is Yud Kevav. And the Einayim is the Darga of Malchios. Einayim is the Darga of Malchios. And if you should ask the Shaila, isn't the Ur Einayim so powerful, so why is it the Darga of Malchios? Why is the Ur Einayim the Darga of Malchios? And the answer is that even though the Ur Einayim is very strong, that's when we talk about Ur Einayim as being Chachma. In some areas, we talk about the Oros or Einayim being the darga of Chachma. Riyah is the union of Chachma. That's why Riyah is intuitive. However, when we talk about, and that's why also, not only is Riyah intuitive, but also the idea of seeing is meirachik. A person can see very, very, very far. So you do see how in the Koyach HaRiyah you have very powerful koyches. However, there is a tzad of Riyah which shows how be'emes Riyah is a koyach, but it's a koyach which is very, very slight. In other words, by the ears are dealing with a very tangible sound, and then the nose is dealing with scent, and the mouth is dealing with verbalization. So those are very gashmi, but the Or Einayim is dealing with very slight factors, not so tangible, right? So in that sense, we look at the Einayim as being the darga of Malchus. And what we said here is that the Oros Einayim is Malchus of Shem Ben. The Malchus of Shem Ben, which were Yotzi from the Einayim. Anyway, another key here is the fact that if you look at what the Baal Mishnas Chasidim is saying here, you can find actually something phenomenal. He says that the Einayim is a composite of a few factors. The Einayim is the Nekudos Sag, that's 63. And then the Shem Ben HaKoilo that we're dealing with, that's 52. And then he says, V'chol zeh yatza b'soid hey achrena. That is, so if you take hey, spelt in that way, hey, right? That equals 10. And ubichlal, the darga of or that we're dealing with is the letter hey, because it's the shem of bina, right? It comes from bina. So if you take Nekudos Sag, Shem Ben, Soid Hey, meaning hey, which is 10, and then you have hey in general, so you have 63, 52, 10, and 5, that equals up to 130. That equals up to 130. So, and I would say that maybe that's what the Mechaber's intention was. Maybe. But anyway, okay, so let's go on. Mishnah Beis. The ha'ara zu, so this ha'ara which comes out of the Einayim, of course the etzem of the Koyach HaRiyah is not coming out now. As we mentioned, the Koyach HaRiyah that's coming out is from the Tzimtzum. It's from the Tzimtzum, right? And it's just a slight Koyach. It's a little bit of the Nekudos Sag and Shem Ben HaKoilo. It's not the Koyach HaRiyah that we're used to thinking about. This is the Koyach HaRiyah, which is a ha'ara, right? But even though it's a ha'ara, it's very, very powerful. It's direct vision. It's direct vision that we're talking about here. We're talking about direct vision. The ha'ara, which comes out of the Einayim of Adam Kadmon, of Ak, is very powerful, right? So, and that's what creates the kelim here. So let's see how we do this. So v'harazu ad hatibur nivlas ba'akudim. So this gaze of Adam Kadmon, this gaze of Adam Kadmon, right? While it is going through the level of Achaf, it's included within the Achaf. It's going through the dargos of Achaf, right? It's glancing and gazing at the Achaf, right? And it's swallowed within the Achaf, which is Olam Ho'akudim, all right? And from that, from this or going through the Achaf, that's how the Kalim of Nekudim are made. And from what is drawn from the level of the Tabur and downwards, meaning the Or Einayim from the Tabur and downwards, so that is Nasa Atzmusam. That becomes the Etzem Or of, that becomes the etzem or. All the or that emanates from beneath the tabur area, that becomes the etzem or of olam hanekudim. He says, "Umimash nimshich mehatabur ulamata." So if you look at the Tam Eitzei there, he says, "Derech einayim lechutz," by way of the eyes and outwards. So we're still talking about the gaze of Adam Kadmon, right? The gaze of Adam Kadmon. But just that when it reaches the level of the tabur and downwards, so that becomes the etzem of Uris HaNekudim. Whereas the or, which is swallowed within the windows of Achaf, so those windows of Achaf color and channel and change and utilize the or einayim, the Adam Kadmon, to create kalim. But as soon as those kalim stop, as soon as the darga of Achaf stops, we have etzem or of olam hanekudim, right? So now that's what he's saying. From any light that emanates from the level of the tabur and below, that becomes the etzem of olam hanekudim. And so we have within the goof of Adam Kadmon the or chadash, which is Shem Ben pnimis, right? With the Shem Ben hapnimi, with the Shem Ben that came down beneath the tabur, which is the higher dargos of Shem Ben, because as you mentioned, the malchus of Shem Ben come out of the einayim. Yotzi derech gumas ha'or meir lehem, that comes out of the body, out of the areas of the body, the tabur, the bris milah, the tzaparnayim. It comes out of those areas and is meir to the kalim of nikudim. Perek Beis, Mishnah Aleph. Ketzad, how does the Ari HaKadosh explain this? Ketzad, how does the Ari HaKadosh explain this? The Ari HaKadosh explained, Ketzad, how do we see this? Beistakel ba'or oz and smalis. When the gaze of the einayim of Adam Kadmon comes towards the left ear of Adam Kadmon, Asa mikav ha're'iyah shaloi, from this gaze of the left ear, chitzonius kli hakeser. Asa mikav ha're'iyah shaloi, chitzonius kli hakeser. It makes from that gaze the chitzonius of the highest kli, which is the kli hakeser. Ukenegdoi biminis or hamakif. When the holy gaze of Adam Kadmon, the koiches of Adam Kadmon, the koiches of the einayim of Adam Kadmon, comes out of the eyes and gazes at the right ear, right? And gazes at the or of the right ear. So that creates the or makif. So that means that we have a chitzonius kli and or makif. The chitzonius of a kli is always the higher darga of a kli, and the makif of light is always the higher darga of light. So that's why, again, we're referring, as we mentioned to many shiurim above, that right and left are dargos of levels, right? So that's what he's saying here. So you have the gaze of Adam Kadmon, gazing at the or, oz, and smalis, and that direct gaze creates the chitzonius kli hakeser, high darga, the chitzonius kli hakeser, ukenegdei b'yaminis or hamakif, and the gaze at the ozen yamin of Adam Kadmon. So that creates or hamakif, the or hamakif of the kli hakeser. Omer ha'aras, and you should know, by the way, whenever we read the word ha'aras, it means the peripheral vision. There's vision, direct vision, and then there's peripheral vision. The peripheral vision is not as strong as direct vision. So, from the peripheral vision of this vision of light from Adam Kadmon to the left peripheral vision, asa pnimi yusai, that makes the pnimius akli. The pnimius akli is always on a lower darga than chitzenius akli, right? So that creates pnimius kli hakeser, or connected b'yaminis liyaminai, or pnimi. And the peripheral vision of glancing, of gazing at the ozen yamin of Adam Kadmon, what does that do? That creates the or pnimi of Keser. So here we have the or pnimi of Keser, we have the pnimius akli, and both of those are from the peripheral gaze at the oznayim to Adam Kadmon, right? And then, this is very important here, v'orchotem upa kilulim bay. And through this gaze is really a gaze at Achaf, right? So even though the focus at this darga is by the oznayim, ozen yamin, ozen small, peripheral yamin, peripheral small, nevertheless, you need to know that this is a gaze. And a gaze is all-encompassing. And since it's all-encompassing, you have the orachotem and paz also kolul in this gaze, in this all-encompassing gaze. And you're going to see soon that that's why the Baal MISHNAS CHASIDIM will say, this is why the Baal MISHNAS CHASIDIM will say that the light does not go to these kalim of nekudim except from the shibolas hazakan. You're going to see soon he's going to say it. And why is he going to say this soon, that the or is not given to the kalim of nekudim except from the shibolas hazakan? Because really the oris of Achaf are only coming together at this point, only coming together at the point of the shibolas hazakan. So that's why, if we're going to create the Kliya Keser, the Kliya Keser is not just Oris or Oznayim, it's also all of Achaf. And because it's all of Achaf, with the Or Ho'enayim gazing on the Achaf, so this combination of the Oris Ho'enayim gazing on the Achaf only comes together by the Shibolas Hazakan point. So therefore, the Kliya Keser, since it's kolul within all these oros, it will only get the ability to receive its or from the Shibolas Hazakan. If you look at Pei Daled, the chart on Pei Daled, it shows that the Oros Ha'enayim are both the Yamin and Small are reaching the Shibolas Hazakan. And that's very important, because the kalim of nikudim that you see on that chart that will be made by the tabur area and downwards, they will not have access to the Oris Ha'enayim except when it comes in that direct point from the Shibolas Hazakan. And the reason for this is because the Ora Chotem and the Ora Peh are nichlal here. They're all included. And so therefore the access is only given from the Shibolas Hazakan and downwards. Not only that, the first Kli is the Kliya Keser, and the Kliya Keser is always central, and the Shibolas Hazakan is central. So because of this, Lo lakhu oram ela min Shibolas Hazakan. That's why they're only taking the light from the Shibolas Hazakan from this point and onwards down. Because you have this energy which is more outwards, but then concentrates by the Chotem and concentrates more by the Peh. So beneath the Peh is where you'd find this concentrated light. Perek Beis, Mishnah Beis. Ubehestakel ba'or hachotem smali. So when the gaze of Adam Kadmon sees directly the or chotem smali, the left nostril side of or, right? When the or ho'enayim of Adam Kadmon gazes at the or chotem smali until the Peh, right? Asa chitzonius kliya chachma. So that creates the higher level of the kliya chachma because it's direct gaze. U'connected b'yamini or amakif, and with the gaze of the chotam yamini, that will make the or hamakif, the higher darga of or, for the kliya chachma. And from the peh and downwards, that will be the extra light here, because the light, unlike the oznayim, the peripheral, is not so scattered. Here, the peripheral is kind of directed downwards, and so therefore the gaze, the peripheral gaze, is not going to be outward, but it's going to be below the it's going to be below the peh ulamata. It's going to be below the peh and lamata. That's considered the peripheral or the non-essential gaze. It's like someone that's speaking to a person, and he speaks to the person that's right in front of them, but behind the person there's other people. So even though there's other people, my main gaze, the ikar vision, is on the person that I'm talking to. So too by this oros, by the oros of the Einayim that are gazing directly at the chotem. So the direct gaze is by the chotem yamin and chotem small. The peripheral is the extra distance beyond the chotem, right? So that's what he's saying now. From the peh and downwards. That creates the panimius of the kliya chachma. And connected the chotem smo, right? On the chotem yamin, beyond the peh is the peripheral vision, the non-essential gaze. So that creates or panimi. That creates the panimius dika light, the lower darga of light. So we had again from the peh and downwards the kli, the panimius akli, the panimius of the kli achachma, or connected b'yamini or panimi, and on the right side, the gaze beneath the peh creates or panimi for that kli achachma, the or panimi of the kli achachma. So you have, just like you had Kliya Keser, Chetzonius, and Makif, Pnimi and Pnimi, or Pnimi and Pnimis Akli. So too by Chachma, you have Chetzonius Kliya Chachma, and you have or Makif of Kliya Chachma, and then the peripheral gaze, that creates the or Pnimi and the Pnimius Akli, right? And of course, the Pnimius Akli and the Chetzonius Akli is all made from the left side, whereas the oros are always a step up. That's considered the yamin. The yamin is the higher darga. So let's continue. And here you see again, the Baal Mishnas Chasidim adds some very, very important words. The Baal Mishnas Chasidim adds the words. He says like this. V'or hapeh kolul boy. And now there has to be inclusion. Since there has to be an inclusion of light, just like we had by the or of ozan being nichlal in the chotem and the peh and being received from the Shebelas Hazakan to create the Kliya Keser, so too by the or HaChachma, which is created from the chotem, there has to be a hiskalulus of the Ora Peh, that the Ora Chotem together with the Ora Peh should be given to the Kliya Chachma. So that's what he means. That's what he means when he says Ora Peh kolul bay. The Ora Peh is kolul with the Ora Chotem. So Mishnah Gimel. When there's a direct gaze from the Einayim of Adam Kadmon by the Or HaPeh, on the left side of the Or HaPeh, Ad HaZakan, until the beard, Asa Chetzonis Kliya Bina. That creates the higher level of the Kli of Bina. Keneged Bimini Or HaMakif, and Keneged, this is the right side of the mouth, the Or HaMakif, for the sphere of Bina. Ubameh shehu misham ulamata, and from there and below, from the zaken and below. So what happens? You know what happens already. Pinimi Yusoi, that makes the Pinimius Kliya Bina, Ukenegde Biyamini or Pinimi, and connected that on the right side of the Peh, beneath the Zaken, right? That creates the Or Pinimi. that creates the or pnimi for the kli of bina. And ushlashtam, and all three of these kelim, all three of them only take their light from the shibelas hazakan and below. And the reason why is because, as we explained before, there's a hiskalulus, there's an inclusion of all these lights. The or ha'inayim gazes at the oros of the ozen, chotem, and peh, and that creates the kelim of nekudim. So therefore, they're all neskabel from a certain point, and that point that they're neskabel from is the shibelas hazakan, right? That's
what do you mean neskabel? What do you mean neskabel from?
The uris and kelim of nekudim are only ready to receive their light from the darga that's that's all inclusive, and the darga that's all inclusive is the shibelas hazakan. Yeah. So there we have the three higher spheres, the gar of olam hanekudim, and if you look on the diagram that we have on Pei Daled, you'll see also that the three lights of Keser Chachma and Bina, they come out with a little bit of yosher to them. There's Keser in the middle, and then Chachma, and then Bina. But if you look at the seven oros from down there and below, right? If you look at the oros beneath the gar, beneath the Keser Chachma Bina, you look at Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yisod, and Malchus. So they're all one after the other, Betzuras Igulim, right? They're all in the Tzura of Igulim, and they don't have the Hischabrus like the Gimel Rishonos. And the reason why they don't have the give and take like the Gimel Rishonos is because the Gimel Rishonos are receiving from a higher darga. The Gimel Rishonos are receiving from a higher darga, which is the Shibelas Hazakan. All these kelim. We explained the gar of nekudim. So let's go on and explain the Shiva Tachtonos, the seven lower spheres of Olam HaNekudim. So Ushloisha Kelim Elu, Hey Me'or Yashar, all of the Asiyas HaKelim that we described up until now is Or Yashar. That gaze of Adam Kadmon at the Achaf and the Asiyas HaKelim, all of that is Or Yashar. All of that is Or Yashar, right? Now, that's what he's saying here. Hey Me'or Yashar Shenasu Beredes Kava Re'iyah, that's created through the drawing down of this Kava Re'iyah, this direct vision. Kishigil Bechina Hoasiris, when it reaches the Bechina Asiris, the 10th level, Malchus. And what he means here by the 10th level, he really just means the Peh of Ak, the Peh of Adam Kadmon. Malchus Peh, Shabal Peh Karinallah. Malchus is a lot of times Peh. So we have the Bechina Asiris is considered to be Malchus. So we are beneath the Darga of Peh, but we're not beneath the Darga of Peh. We're at the Bechina Asiris of the Peh. That's what he's saying. It's a great question, right? That's what he's saying here, right? Kishigia lebechina hoasiris. When you reach the 10th level of the Peh of Adam Kadmon, of the Peh of Adam Kadmon, shall call hoaser spheros of all the Eser spheros. But if you look at the Ta'ametzai, he means the 10th level, the Malchus of Adam Kadmon, which itself is the Bechina series of all of the other dargas. So the Peh is the lowest darga. From the Peh, right. From the Peh, you have Malchus of the Peh, right? And that's the way it works. So really, if you want to make a chart out of this, so you have, you'd have Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, and Yechida. So what is the Nefesh? The Nefesh is the Malchus, the Peh. The Ruach is the Chotem. The Neshama is Bina, and that would be the Ozen of Adam Kadmon. And then you'd have the Chaya. Chaya is Chachma, and that would be the Ayin. All right? And so Malchus is Peh. And so Malchus is also Nefesh. And so when we get to the Darga Asiris, Shal Kol Ho'eser Sfiros, the Darga Asiris, Shal Kol Ho'eser Sfiros, the 10th of all of the 10, right? So that is where the buck stops. That is the Kav. The Kav goes till the Bechina Asiris of the Peh, which is beneath the Peh. The Ora Peh is all the Darga of Nefesh. The Or of the Chotem is all the Darga of Ruach. And then the Ora Ozen is the Darga of Neshama. And the Or, and beyond that, the Ayin is Chaya. And we could say in a certain sense that the Darga of Yechida, we have no Rishos. Darga of Yechida, we have no Rishos. Ubestakel be'or chotem upeh. So when the Einayim, the Adam Kadmon, gazes at the Or of Chotem and the Or of Peh, Shimishibeles Hazakan Ulumata, which had gone down beneath the Shibeles Hazakan and below, right? Smali Yada Chaza, the left side until the Chaza, that makes the chitzenius for the kelim of the Shava Achronis from Chesed till Malchus. Ukenegda bi'min Oros Hamakifim, and when the Einayim of Adam Kadmon sees the residual of the Or of Chotem and Peh beneath the Shibelas Hazakan and downwards, the right side of this, when the gaze is on the right side of this, that makes Oros Hamakifim. That makes the Oros Hamakifim. That's what he's saying here. Connected b'min Oros Hamakifim. Omeachaza ulamata pnimius ubehistakel beor chotem upesh mishabelas azakon ulamata smali. And when the gaze of the Einayim of Adam Kadmon sees the Or of the Chotem and the Peh, which is beneath the Shibelas Hazakan and beneath, Smali Arachaza Asa Chetzenius Klishava Achrenes. On the left side until the Chaza, that's the direct gaze. So on the direct gaze, it makes the Chetzenius Kli for the Sheva Achrenes, for the 7 lower spheres, the Chetzenius Kalim for the 7 lower spheres from Chesed to Malchus. Ukenegde bi'min Oros Hamakifim, and on the right side of this Or, which is beneath the Shibelas Hazakan and downwards, the right side, this direct gaze of Adam Kadmon, that creates the Oros Hamakifim. Omeachaza ulamata pnimius, from the Chaza and downwards, that additional peripheral gaze that additional peripheral gaze, as we were calling it up until now, that creates the panemius of the Zion Tachtonim, the panemius kli of the Zion Tachtonim. That's what he means here. Me'achaza lamata panemius. From the chaza and lamata, that creates the panemius kalim for the Zion Tachtonim. Ukenegde biyamin aras hamakifim. And the peripheral vision of the Einayim Da'adam Kadmain, of the residual oros of the chotem and the peh that are beneath the chaza and downwards on the right side, that creates the oros pnimim that will go in the 7 kalim from chesed till malchus. And now here's the catch with all of these 7 kalim that we just spoke about. The catch is like this. The catch is as follows. The kalim that we spoke about, the gar, the keser chachma bina, is made from or yashar, the direct gaze of Adam Kadmain, being nimshech lamata. But Mishnah Vav describes the Shiva Tachtonis that they were made in a different way, right? And he's going to say like this. Mishnah Vav. V'shiva kalim elu he me'or chozer shenasa b'chazaras or kavariya me'a b'china ho asiris ho amur l'mayla. These 7 kalim from chesed to malchus, they are made really from or chozer, from the returning light of the Einayim the Adam Kadmain, the returning light of the Einayim of Adam Kadmain, the direct gaze, that the direct gaze is coming back now. Where is it coming back now? Where is this chazaras or kavariya? Me'abechina ho asiris or amur l'mayla. From the malchus of malchus of the peh of Adam Kadmain, which we mentioned up above. As it reaches the nefesh, the lowest darga of the peh of Adam Kadmain, it jumps back up. This or jumps back up and gives light to this or einayim, the or chozer, the or einayim of or chozer, right? Or chozer de einayim, that creates the Zion Tachtonis. So, Kitzer is the Gimel Rishonis, the Gar is made by or einayim de Adam Kadmain, or Yashar. The Zion Tachtonis of Olam HaNekudim are made from the or einayim de Adam Kadmain, but or chozer. Or chozer. As this or comes up, it creates the kalim and the oros for for Olam HaNekudim. And now let's finish this off. Ve'elu heim asfiras hanikroim es asfiras dinekudim. These are the 10 spheres of Olam HaNekudim. Seidu shesarabim. They're the seidu shesarabim. And simply put, there's no give and take of cheder. There's no give and take of chesed, din, and rachamim. Unlike the gar, by the gar there's give and take of chesed, din, and rachamim. That's why they're on different kavim. The keser is keser, the chachma is chachma, and the bina is bina, and there's a give and take between them. And so there are the seder v'shus harabim shiatzu kulam bebechinas ha'egulim. In general, the reason why they're called seder v'shus harabim is because they're egulim. And the union of egulim is that in general they don't work interconnectedly. So another point here is that also the oros that are coming out now are from the oros ha'einayim, right? The oros ha'einayim are different from achaf. The Ari HaKadosh mentions or taught. The Ari HaKadosh taught that the difference between achaf and the oros ha'einayim is that the einayim is misnoided. It moves around. The eyes move around everywhere. The eyes are not in one place. The eyes are not stationary. The eyes can move around, right? Whereas the other achaf is from Yashar, and therefore they are stationary. But the reason why the oros are coming out like this by Olam HaNekudim is because at this level, there's a giloi of, not the achaf anymore. By the Zayin Tachtonim, the giloi is not the achaf, the giloi is only the pure, unadulterated light of the Einayim. And because of that, the Zayin Tachtonim are bebechinas igulim. The Zayin Tachtonim are bebechinas igulim, right? So that's what he's saying here. So, they all come out bebechinas igulim levad. Nefradim mecha separate one from their friend. Chutz mishalish rishonos, except for the shalish rishonos, shekave or nemshachim meiguleihem umechabram, except from the gimel rishonos, which the gimel rishonos, the Baal MISHNAS CHASIDIM says something amazing here. He says that the kave or, the windows of light, are within their igulim and are mechaber the gimel rishonos. So the question is like this: if Nekudim is all bebechinas igulim, how is there seder? How is there a give and take? How is there a give and take of cheder, chesed, din, and rachamim by the gar? How does the gar have a give and take? If we just said to you that the oros of nekudim are bebechinas igulim, and we mentioned that the oros of nekudim are bebechinas igulim because they're yatsa from the Einayim, and the Einayim are not stationary, unlike the achav. So how is it so that the gar is made in a way that they're cheder, that they're chesedin and rachamim, that they interconnect? If they're all if they're all bebechinas igulim, and the answer is, and this is something you must remember, you must, that shekave or nimshachim meiguleihem, the igulim themselves have windows of light. That these windows of light face the lower dargos properly, and that is how they receive light and interact with each other. So usually you picture the igulim as one eagle and another eagle and another eagle, and they have nothing to do with each other. But the way it works is that the igulim also can have windows. That these kave or these windows of light, right, make it so that there is a give and take, which is equal or similar to what you find by Yosher.